I'm Jeff.
I'm Manson.
I'm Brian.
I'm Isabella.
Our topic is chronic autoimmune atrophic gastritis, and this is our poster. In our poster, there are totally 6 parts, consists of introduction, causes, mechanism, development, signs and symptoms, and treatment. But we mainly focus on the mechanism. Autoimmune atrophic gastritis is a disease that's caused by immune system destroying the parietal cells. This may lead to hypocalcemia, inadequate production of intrinsic factor. In that case, production of essential substance in stomach, such as hydrochloric acid and intrinsic factor, is decreased and lead to digestive impairment. Impairment of digestive system may lead to vitamin B12 and iron deficiency. Body malfunction may occur, such as venosus anemia. The cause of chronic autoimmune atrophic gastritis is unknown due to the body autoimmune disorder unpredictable. Inheritance might be one of the causes. Change in genetic material, which is mutation, might be another cause.
For mechanism, the main reasons of having autoimmune gastritis is caused by genetic factor. Due to the development of the genetic materials in the body, errors like autoimmune disorder might be induced. In this case, immune systems attack parietal cell and oxyntic mucosa mistakenly, which cause the loss of oxyntic mucosa by infiltration of lymphocytes and macrophage, as well as the disruptions of the maturation of parietal cell, and which will cause the atrophy of the parietal cell. The uneven distributions of parietal cells in the stomach is called pseudopolyposis. Then, apoptosis of parietal cell may result in the release of gastric acid, potassium ion ATPase, which are taken up by gastric dendritic cells and then migrate to the gastric lymph nodes to activate CD4 plus T cell, which will migrate to the gastric mucosa and to initiate cell damage by binding to MHC class II. Tissue damage will induce the destruction of parietal cell and metaplasia in intestine, gastric glands, and pseudopyloric will form, and which will cause the gastric cancer.
Parietal cell destruction will induce effect in 2 pathways. First, destruction of parietal cell causes the impairment of gastric acid secretion. The lack of negative feedback from the parietal cell will induce hyperplasia of G cell and the enterochromaffin-like cell to increase the gastric acid production. The thickness of foveolar cell will then increase. Gastric carcinoid will be the result. For the second pathway, deficiency of intrinsic factor, without the help of parietal cell, it leads to the malabsorption of vitamin B12 and the iron, which lead to decrease the amount of material for maintaining the healthiness of nerve cell and the red blood cell synthesis. Pernicious anemia and iron deficiency will be the consequence. This is our sign and symptom. Some people do not have any sign or any symptom. Some may have sign due to the vitamin B12 deficiency and the pernicious anemia. For the B12 deficiency, mental confusion, dizziness, unsteady walking, and the limb numbness and tingling. For the pernicious anemia, nausea and vomiting, loss of appetite, constipation, and they will have depression.
So now let's move to the development part. The development may be divided into three parts, namely the early phase, second phase, and the end stage. For the early phase, the structural change are non-specific, and they are multifocal destruction. They are hyperplasia because of the osteotic glands infiltration. The uneven parietal cell destruction finally led to the formation of gastric pseudopolyposis. From this diagram, we can see that there are rare parietal cell and the pseudopyloric metaplastic endothelium was being formed. For the second phase, it is also named as the fluoride stage. The limia propria was being infiltrated by the lymphoplasma, and the atrophic osteotic glands and mucosa was being found because of the inflammation. Hypertrophic foveolar cell and the metaplastic intestine, gastric glands, and pseudopyloric are also being found. There are immature mucous neck cell proliferation in this stage. From this diagram, we can see that there are dense mucous neck cell formation and the polaric metaplasia is found here. So now let's move to the end stage.
At the end stage, the inflammation will reduce. First, it got the atrophic in mucosa and osteotic glands, which look like empty. Second, the hyperplastic in polyps, endocrine cell, and foveolar cell. Third, metaplastic in pseudopyloric pancreas and intestine. As below this, it got hypertrophic in muscular mucosa. At the end, proliferation of immature mucous neck cell. Let's talk about the treatment. The treatment is focused on preventing or treating vitamin B12, iron, folic deficiency. The patient should have a lifelong monitoring on the levels of B12 and iron. And the DNA checking is recommended before the pregnancy. It can decrease the chance to get this disorder of the newborn. Checking the history of disorder in family also can know it carry or not carry the possible genes to get this autoimmune disorder. Here is our reference. Thank you.